in this wicked system, trying to do the right thing as a Black person can get you arrested. Let's get into this story that came out in the New York Times. A Black restaurant owner says he tried to assist a white patron in distress. Police arrested him. This man is a doctor and he is the restaurant owner. The one place a wealthy Black business owner might least expect to be arrested on flimsy charges by the police would be a popular restaurant he owns in the heart of Harlem. But that's what happened to Clyde Pemberton, the owner of Mist Harlem, who, along with two of his employees, sued the New York Police Department last week in Manhattan federal court for false arrest and violating his civil rights. His lawyers said the entire incident suggested racial bias and was an example of the kind of interactions with law enforcement that often strain the department's relationship with minority communities. On June 1st, 2017, Dr. Pemberton, a retired psychiatrist, was holding a business meeting at his restaurant when he saw two women leaving the bathroom, dragging a third woman who was visibly unconscious across the room at 10:30 p.m., the complaint states. The women, who were all white, knocked over a station of rope that was blocked. You know how they rope off certain areas in a restaurant sometimes? Well, they knocked that over. When Mr. Pemberton, now 68, walked over to the women to ask what was wrong and suggested the unconscious woman be placed in a chair, one woman punched him in the chest and referred to him with a racial slur, according to the complaint. A second woman struck Mr. Pemberton's employee, Christian Battisti, in the head. So she hit him in the head with her purse, the second woman. According to the lawsuit, employees called 911 as the women continued to yell, push, and kick employees, the lawsuit said. But shortly after the arrival of police officers, who were all white, including some from the 28th precinct, a police supervisor spoke with one of the women. So he didn't even speak to the restaurant owner to find out what was going on. He spoke to just one of these women, and based on that, he arrested the doctor and three of his employees. And two of his employees, based on what this woman said. He didn't talk to no one else. They sure know how to stay on code, even when they're lying. Okay. So this police supervisor came in, spoke with one of the women, then ordered his officers to arrest Dr. Pemberton, Mr. Battisti, and another employee, Thomas Debnam. They were charged with unlawful imprisonment. The charges against the men were dismissed in November. One of the arresting officers, Anthony Sanko, wrote in his criminal complaint that he observed Dr. Pemberton, Mr. Battisti, and Mr. Debnam blocking the exit to the restaurant, and that the men had stated to him that they were trying to prevent the women from leaving. That is a damn lie. He went over to try to help and find out what was going on, and they were attacked. But this is the lie. See how police officers lie in reports? We say this all the time because we know it's true. They lie in police reports against us all the time. And this is another good example of it. Okay. The men deny that they made such statements to Mr. Sanko and that they were trying to prevent the women from leaving. So they said they never told this officer they were trying to prevent these women from leaving. They never said that to him, but he put that in his police report. A New York Times investigation earlier this year found that the practice of testifying or providing statements that are untrue, is a stubborn issue within the police department. No, what they're trying to do is pretty up the fact that they lied. The cops lied in their police report. Dr. Pemberton said he explained that he was the owner of the restaurant and a physician, but that officers never asked him what happened and that their supervisor had been hostile, according to the lawsuit. After spending 6 hours in custody, the men were given a desk appearance and release, according to the lawsuit. Dr. Pemberton, the lawsuit states, was arrested for being a conscientious business owner while Black. A reference to a growing list of activities such as driving while Black that can place someone at risk of being stopped, questioned, and arrested by the police. The men did nothing wrong, and no reasonable police officer would have believed that they did anything wrong, the lawsuit states. The NYPD arrested Dr. Pemberton, Mr. Battisti, and Mr. Debnam, not because of their conduct, but because they were and they are Black. Neither their side of the story nor their freedom mattered to the police. One of the women was also arrested, according to the lawsuit. She was charged with assault with the intent to cause physical injury to other offenses. Okay, so she got arrested for assault and some other offenses. Everything we did was in the right way, and we approached, and it was overlooked, ignored, and disrespected. Our rights as human beings, Mr. Debnam, 32, said in an interview, there's a flaw in our system. There's more than a flaw. The city law department will review the case and respond accordingly, said the agency's spokesman, Nicholas Paolucci. Elizabeth Saylor, a civil rights attorney representing the men, said that the officers' statements were not true and the men never should have been arrested. So there you have it. So when you own the restaurant and you're just trying to find out what's going on because somebody's unconscious in your restaurant, you get arrested for that. You don't just arrest anybody on the scene and sort it out later, Ms. Saylor said. They are privileged Black men who have money and resources to fight this. But despite that, it deeply affected them. They incurred $15,000 in legal fees to defend themselves. That's outrageous. That's outrageous. But see, that's how they got the system set up to bilk you out of your money, even when they're wrong. Dr. Pemberton, a green card holder who is a native from Trinidad and Tobago, said he has run into issues while traveling in and out of the country after the arrest. And even the charge was dismissed. Even after the charge was dismissed, he was running into problems, probably going through customs. We thought it was over, he said, but immigration and customs enforcement continued to stop him in airports. Dr. Pemberton also said that since the arrest, the police have conducted random checks of his establishment and have increased their presence there, costing him business. Mr. Debnam, who had planned on applying to be a teacher, worries now that because of the arrest that his application would be rejected. Yeah, well, you better get that lawsuit going because, and I'm glad they're suing, good for them, because what happened wasn't right. But, we see this once again, ladies and gentlemen. You can't do anything right while black in America, and that's how they got the system rigged up. So this man was trying to do the right thing and ended up getting arrested along with two other employees. Makes no sense. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell. I'll see you on the next video. You know what this means, ladies and gentlemen. Soon it's going to come down to this. Whenever these folks are in distress on the streets or something's wrong, everybody's going to go the other way and avoid them because of this kind of stuff. Peace, family.